Hi everyone, this is Martha. I'm a clinical sexologist from Eros Coaching, and I've started Clean and Clear campaign, and I'm going around interviewing my 8 friends who are experts in their own right. And today I have with me Laurie Handlers. She's an international tantra teacher. She's also in the lead faculty of ISTA, that stands for International School of Temple Arts. I love her very much. I have learned a lot from her. So welcome, Laurie.
Yay, thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Yes, I am too.
Yeah. There's a lot of love between us, so it's good.
Yes. And okay, so let's go into it. I just keep laughing. Okay. We want to be talking about emotional release here. And would you like to share with people your perspective on of the importance of emotional release?
Absolutely. First of all, I consider myself to be the queen of emotional release. First of all, I needed I needed emotional release. I needed it badly. I don't really know what happened to me as a kid. I tried being in therapy and figuring it all out, and I never came up with an answer or an idea about why I had anger, but I had anger. Actually, I'll put it like this. Anger had me. I didn't have it. And I needed emotional release tools to release it, to release the trigger mechanism and to release this huge slush fund that I had of anger that I couldn't explain and I didn't know why. But I knew, my friends would have told you in my earlier part of my life, I was very angry. They loved me. I loved them. I was also very loving, but they were always a little scared that there would come a time when I would call them in the middle of the night and say, I'm angry. I just had anger, and figuring it out wasn't the way. Figuring it out didn't do me a bit of good. Even if I could have figured out the why of it, I still had it. So early in my life, I took a class in bioenergetics, and I learned how to do release. But it wasn't until I started Tantra in 1996 that I connected the sexual energy piece to the emotional release. Like, I started realizing that all of this pent up energy was stored in my sex area. That's where my pleasure center is, and it's also my pain center. So any memories that I remember or don't remember that were in my cellular memory, in my cells, were stored beneath the waist. So when I went to have pleasure, I'd be angry. When I'd get pleasure from being angry. I would start fights with people. I would do anything to unfold, to unburden myself of this anger. It was like I was always like I was always ready and on alert for a fight. And I mean, it was crazy. I'm very lucky I didn't go crazy from it.
Sounds familiar. So what works the best for you?
Right, you and I are a lot alike.
Yeah, that's why you're my teacher. That's why I chose you.
So I learned bioenergetic emotional release again in Tantra. I learned the very same stuff that I had learned back in the 70s. But this time we built a sexual charge. And when we build the sexual charge and then make sound, and make the sound come up the spine and out the mouth and out the crown, all of a sudden I started feeling like I was shoveling and I was getting rid of big chunks of it. And so I took responsibility. I mean, because it plagued me for so long. I mean, I'm lucky that I was loved in spite of it. But the anger just followed me everywhere. It plagued me really. And so I took it upon myself to do emotional clearing, clearing and release, we use interchangeably those words. Why I say I'm the queen of emotional release is because I went into my living room on this particular carpet every single day for at least 6 months once I learned this technique again. And I also, in Tantra, I learned the witness. So I had the ability to watch this stuff while it was clearing from me, and it never came back. Before that, I had the technique, but I didn't know to witness it and watch it leave. So I would just hit the floor, and the very same issue I would scream about every single time. like it was the same thing every time. It never went away. In Tantra, I learned to let it go and get it out of me. And then at some point I saw a light in the end of the tunnel. Like I started to really see clear sunlight, and I realized, wow, I've dug myself out of this massive tunnel of anger that I had. And underneath it, not surprising, was sadness. And underneath the sadness was grief. And you know what, Martha? I don't know what it was about. I don't even today know what the sadness was about and what the grief was about, and I still don't know what the anger was about. All I know is I released it. So I'm free. And now in my life, it takes a lot to get me angry. It's like I'm like a pleasure to be with. And I love pleasure. So
bioenergetic emotional release is one of the videos that I have made, and I've learned it from you. I've made the video so that it's available for people who are participating in this campaign. So is there anything else that you want to share with that works really well for you besides bioenergetic emotional release? I mean, it's a really powerful technique, but is there anything else you'd like to share?
Well, that's okay. So that's my favorite one. And I know all the ones pretty much that you're teaching on this campaign. And I love them. And I use them in the ISTA training. There's a whole bunch of them from the ISTA training. And then there's other ones that I use. But my two favorite ones, besides bioenergetic emotional release, which is so easy for me to do. I can do it on the rug. I can do it in bed. I can just do it. It doesn't take a lot for me to do it. Like my body is primed to do that one. But if I'm in a group of people and I need to release something, especially if it's an ISTA group of people, I can just do the hand scream, which I know you've taught. So I just do that. And I'm really making noise, but you can't hear it because my hands are muffling it. And so I love that one. That's really good for just, sometimes I'm in meetings and something gets said and it makes me, I'm just like, whoa, and I just go. And people don't even know what I'm doing. I might even do it also in a store. If someone bangs their shopping cart into me or whatever, I just might stop. And I've done it in bed with a partner. I was in bed with a partner once who I kept saying to him, slow down, touch me differently, please touch me slower. He couldn't get it. And finally I just went, just a minute. And he asked me, are you doing emotional release? I said, yes. You think? Like I had to do it on the spot so I didn't get really mad at him. The other one I love is called Egyptian cleansing breath, and it's part of the yoga boxing repertoire, and it's also a very simple technique. I do it in the car, and I also could excuse myself sometimes from a meeting and go and do it in the ladies' room. So that's the other one. So it's called Egyptian cleansing breath.
Got it. And we're gonna make a separate video on that later.
Okay.
So when we let go of emotions, what do we do, or what can we do to let in pleasure?
Good question. First of all, I just want to say emotions are like the weather. So they're meant to move in and out. Just like there could be a tsunami somewhere on the planet today, tomorrow the sun will come out again. There could be a snowstorm somewhere. Tomorrow or the next day the sun will come out again. Emotions are not meant to be held on to. And they're also not meant to define us. So in the past, I used to call myself an angry person. No, I had anger. I felt anger, but I was a person and still am a person who is no longer run by powerful emotion like anger. So first of all, letting go of the emotions makes a blank space, like a big open space. My body becomes a receptacle to new things. And so to me, new things are pleasurable. So what I practice to let in pleasure are two things. One, I practice Laurie Handlers, which is moving in the unknown. So I pray for new stuff, like things I don't know, like something's going to happen and it's going to be different and I don't know what it's going to be. And I'm going to make it pleasurable. Like I'm going to, instead of being afraid of the unknown, I'm going to say something wonderful is going to happen. And I don't know what it is, but I practice the meditation called Laurie Handlers so that I will really pray for fresh, new, making love to life. So that's one thing. So because I don't have all that other stuff gunking me up anymore, I'm clean. I have room for pleasure, and not a lot triggers me.
Mm.
The other thing is sex magic. So when I determine what it is I want, then I use my orgasms to bring in that which I wish for. So if there's definite things that I want, I say them to myself and I set them up with myself before I would have an orgasm, either with myself or with a partner.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more that we can go into. I can interview all day because there's so much wisdom that you have. And I understand that people would want to learn from you, would just have to hire you. So I understand that you have a free gift for people who are watching this.
Yeah. So what I thought is, because I just brought up sex magic and the idea about it, I have a transcript from a talk that I give that's about sex magic, and it's mostly about solo practice. So it's about a person practicing with himself to allow magic to happen in their life, to allow their creative life force, their sexual energy, their orgasm, to bring in that which they pray for. So that's what I'd like to give, the transcript of sex magic.
Great.
Okay.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to read it.
Good.
To it. So thank you for this interview. Thank you very much. And so stay tuned. I'm going to get Laurie to show this other technique that she has, Egyptian cleansing breath.
Yes, I'd love to.